Good day, Trader Trev here with the PowerEdge trading system. I am bringing you the time chart based version that I've enhanced compared to the original, which is based on tick charts. And so this now is based on time charts. We've also added customized indicators. So that's another enhancement that I've made to the PowerEdge trading system. So the tick version, which was the original version, I actually still love that, and I love to trade that, especially in high volatility times. But there's been some changes in the industry where one of the platforms that a lot of traders were using is now limited to one firm. They pulled back from other firms. So a lot of people now are going back to trading just time charts. And also, not every platform out there does ticks really well. If you're a PC user like I am, NinjaTrader is fantastic for tick charts. And so I use Ninja when I'm trading the tick model. But I also find that the majority of people out there are trading time-based charts, and especially on TradingView. So that's why I created this model. I created custom indicators for you as well that simplify it. So all you need are two indicators on your charts. The power chart here, it offers a lot. So I took into consideration that we're going to have ICT traders that maybe are using the system. We're going to have supply and demand, level traders, EMA traders. So there's a lot that the system tracks and does. But I recommend you go through and you turn off everything you're not using and only have on it what you are using. And so for myself, and what I use during the mentorship is what you have here. So on our power chart, what I have turned on, if I go into settings, I have our 200 EMAs. So we are plotting the 200 EMA across multiple time frames. And so if you're watching the charts, you've probably noticed, and you track the 200 EMA, it is a very key level that price likes to return to and then use as support or resistance. So this we use a lot for stacked confluences, which you'll be learning as well. But that's what I have turned on there. We can track higher time frame fair value gaps for the ICT traders. So that functionality is here. But when I'm doing the mentorship, I like to have this turned off and then teach. You'll see me go back and forth between the higher time frame to make sure I'm keeping up with and plotting myself. I'm drawing them on the chart. And so I think that's very good discipline to develop. And for that reason, I have this turned off. Once you've got comfortable with identifying them, seeing them, then by all means, you can turn this on and it's going to help you just reduce the mental capital. But you want to develop this skill, especially if you're new, you want to develop that skill ahead of time. I have Asia, all these different ranges and kill zones for the sessions, various sessions. I have it turned off. When I'm doing my morning markup, I will temporarily turn on the Asia range and the London kill zone just to see where the range highs and lows are, because price often will use that during the New York session. And so I will track that. This I track, I leave this alone. This is right now I have this customized for gold, but I will show you how to enhance this. So if you trade the NASDAQ or ES, I'll show you how to change this to optimize it for whatever instrument you're trading futures wise. Dashboard, turn that on or off. Yeah, there we go. I leave it on. This just gives me a really good sense of the different time frames and what the bias is on those time frames. That's based on momentum indicators along with some other filters that I'm using. And so I have that coded in. And then it tracks our daily range, average daily range, the percentage that we've achieved of the average daily range. And so where that's helpful for, if you're joining in the New York session and we've already moved, let's say 95% of the daily range in the overnight, then I'm cautious about how much I'm expecting out of the market during that New York session. If we've already achieved quite a lot, then I might be inclined to think we could be dealing with an accumulation session. So I find that very helpful. ATR, average true range, that's showing me what the average range of the candles are. And I use this mostly on the 5-minute. I watch this on the 5-minute, and I'm very familiar with what my instruments typically do. And if you remember last spring, if you're trading in the spring of 2025, the average true range per candle grew significantly. And there's a lot going on, but we saw major volatility come into the market. And so if you didn't adjust your sizing going into the market during those times, what normally would have been a 1 or 2% risk could easily have been north of 15, 30%, or even greater. So if you didn't, and I think you would have seen that a lot of traders went from trading what they would have been the mini contracts down to micros during that time. So this helps us keep a real close tabs on the volatility in the market and how we should manage our risk. Okay, so going down, ignore this. Nothing to change there. Show institutional daily levels. You may just want to change the colors here so they stand out for you, but they're all here. That's these levels here that you see. And so previous day high and low, this tracks. And for our system, I track the previous day highs and lows from midnight to midnight, not the electronic trading hours. Okay, so that's very important. Right here, the midnight vertical line, that's showing you midnight to midnight, and just a very helpful thing to glance at. And then value area high and value area low. This is based on the volume profile for the New York session from the previous day. Then we've got the point of control. So this is the price level where the majority of volume was traded during the previous day's New York session. We've got New York midnight opening price, a very key level, and then settlement as well. And so this is based on the settlement price from the CME, from the where the cash settlement price took place from the previous day. So these are the key kind of structural levels that it's going to track for you automatically, along with the new week opening gap and the new day opening gap. And again, you can customize the colors, the opacity here so that they're showing up on your chart. And then this is highlight current time frame fair value gaps. And so if you're on, and I trade mostly on the 5 and 3 minute on the lower time frames, and I like to be able to quickly spot where the fair value gaps are on the lower time frame that I'm trading. That's my entry time frame. And so here you can customize the body of the gap candle. So sometimes, I might have it completely turned off right here. And so that any candle that has a fair value gap on it is now going to have a hollow body. Okay. Or maybe I like 15%. So it's still showing me that it's a bullish candle, but the green shading is at 15% opacity. And again, that's just protecting mental capital. It's helping us spot our fair value gaps on our entry time frame much more easily. And if you're especially trading on the 1 minute and you're looking for your in and out, your fair value gap inversions, market structure shifts, and all of that, and you're looking to one of your requirements is to make sure that you've got a fair value gap going into your higher time frame PD array on the 1 minute chart and then the opposing direction. And that is what qualifies you for your IFEGs or the market structure shifts that you find are higher probability. It's super, super helpful for that. I also find it very helpful for reading order flow at a glance. And then if you're an opening range trader, you can turn on opening range trade. And I've got that here and just choose the color. I have mine a bit shaded. I do track it. I have a couple setups that I watch for using the opening range, but I don't want it predominant on my charts. And then style wise, I have all my lines set at the 1 and thickness. I mean, you can adjust this per your settings. All my EMAs I have as dotted. Again, I want them on my charts, but I don't want them to be heavy or bolded on my charts. I just find that can add too much clutter. So this is all for you to customize per your preferences and what you like. Bar color, I've updated this. So this is the bar color for the reversal indicator, which I have turned off right now. But it's a great way to, it's based on the ATR, and it's a standard deviation of 2 ATR for each candle. And so that is going to show you where it's an exhaustion on the other side, either overbought or oversold beyond that standard 2 deviation. So up to you whether you see how it colors my candles. So here we came down, we actually, on this one here, I'll just a quick story here. We're finding on the higher time frame here on the 1 hour, we're finding support off this 15-minute 200 EMA, and on the lower time frame you can see here price came down. And if you're on the 5-minute, you would have seen right here that we're using both settlement and the value area high as support, and you can see here that we're showing signs of exhaustion in this pullback, and so we can start looking for a reversal to the upside, which you can see we've gotten. So part of the mentorship, we do get into that, looking for those types of setups. But if it customizes the color of the candle that's coming out of that reversal area but I like to have that turned off just for me. I have other plots right here that we can turn on and off, but we won't get to that until we get to that part of the mentorship. Fair value gap, body highlight. That's if you just want these candles that have the hollow bodies or different color bodies for your fair value gaps on the current time frame. Just uncheck it and it'll leave you with normal gaps, gap candles. This we cover. These are EMAs. If you want to do any customization to them, same thing with the market structure daily levels. So for the power chart, that's how I have my settings. That's what I recommend for going through the mentorship together, and then you can add to it or tweak it as you see fit. Power bands, you can have the signals plot in your chart. Like if I turn these on, you'll see the signals starting to show up. But as we're starting on the mentorship together, I have them turned off because I want to be able to teach you how to watch for them with or without this indicator, or if you don't want to have that clutter on your charts. There's other things that we can watch for. So I want to teach you that first. This bull band, bear band, this is the plotting here on our power band. This is key. We use this to find our entries or signal us to get into our entries. So that is absolutely key. There is an RSI. Again, I do use an RSI in filtering some of the plots, the signals that plot on your chart when you're ready. Let me just see here. So I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. There we go. And let me just change the coloring so it stands out. I typically trade on a white background, but I'm adjusting for mentorships. I use dark because I think that's what most people use. And so here you can see it. Okay, so for this, you could, if you want to keep an eye on it, again, use your power band here for your signal, but then you can see kind of where are we in the RSI. And so I've got this at a 60-40 plotting, okay, as a filter, but you can use this too for extra confluence. But for the most part, I just have mine hidden and I expand this, especially if the plot's turned on, because it's automatically going to filter out your signals. Okay, but I'm going to teach you how to do that manually just using this without the RSI filtering. And that is it. I do want to show you just at a glance here. Again, we're on a 1 hour chart here, but you can see, so this is a day, another day, so forth. But you can see how the market's using market structure levels from the previous day, as well as the 200 EMA. So if we look at, this was a holiday, a bank holiday in the US. The next day we opened up, so accumulation, next day we opened up. We didn't use any of the market structure levels from the previous day. But what we did use, you can see here, is we are using the 200 EMAs as support in this very big bullish move up on that day. And so we would have been looking for setups here and here, and then using these as support. So that's why I have both on here. If you're a level trader and you only trade levels, then you wouldn't have had any setups this day, unless. And I think we were in all-time highs here as well, if I remember correctly. So there's not even structure to the left that we can use. So that's where these 200 EMAs become helpful. And then here you can see we are using this right here. On this day, we're using the previous day's market structure levels. You can see they're acting as resistance, sending price down. Price comes up using the 200 EMAs to reject off of. And then it comes down and it's using settlement value area high as support, and then it goes from there. And so same thing here. You can see we're using both the structured daily structures and the 200 EMAs. Same thing here, support value area high. So in a strong bullish trend on a higher time frame, I think you can start to spot, like we're using settlement value area high. We're using here settlement value area high as the support level. Okay. Here we're using the point of control and our 200 EMAs. Okay, and then once we got above value area high, then we took out the previous day high. So this becomes this structure here. Once we're rejecting off of these levels, that can become our target or the drawn liquidity for the day. So that's why we have it on there. I'll be getting much deeper into that with you during the mentorship, but wanted to show you why these are important for us to have on the charts. And then also identifying the fair value gaps. If you're an ICT trader, you don't need to know ICT for this, but it does help with reading order flow, making sure we're on the right side of the trades. And so I do teach some of that as well. And that is it. Again, welcome to the PowerEdge Trading System for time-based charts. Hope you enjoy, and please reach out with any questions along your journey.